Breaking Stalin's nose. Wait, does this mean that a little kid broke Stalin's nose? Sort of. Okay, did he do it like this? Hey, Stalin comes down to the little kid. Hey, I know you. You're like the spies that really good. My favorite secret agent son, eh? Yes. Sorry to hear that he became an enemy to people. I myself felt betrayed when I found out. Oh yeah, I was sad. But there was one request my dad wanted me to tell you, to give you something. Okay, what is it? This letter and one more thing. Yeah, what is it? This smacks. Boo! Breaks the nose. But what did you do? That's for arresting my innocent dad. Pig. And he goes ahead and runs away and breaks through the Kremlin. Goes through the Kremlin. Is like Superman. Pew 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 pew. Shoot that kid down. Bang 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 bang. Nothing works. So he's immune. Alright, that's actually a pretty good spin-off of this, if a Superman existed in this world, but unfortunately, Superman is a fake person. So what happens here instead? Well, apparently this happens instead. Comrade, there's a lot of things that happen. Like, in this review, I'm going to have to talk about a few things like comrades. So we'll start off with comrades. And no, Stalin is not even in this story, except for that one time, the flashback. But that's it. Just a flashback. That's it. Alright, let's start off with comrades. Now, comrades are an interesting concept in this book. Comrade is a friend, more than a friend to be honest. They're more than brothers. They're people who would die for each other. If you betray them, even like a little thing like take a bit, like steal the one grain of chocolate from their tray. They're like, comrade, what did you steal my stuff? What do you mean? You stole one grain? What do you mean? I didn't steal a grain. You are a liar. Okay, everyone, this guy stole a grain of my chocolate. No, comrade, how could you? I didn't. Go ahead and let's send him to the police. No, what? It's a grain of chocolate, even if I did steal it. Oh, now you're mad. I said it, even if I... Yeah, that's actually pretty unfair, to be honest. In fact, a lot of actually people say, a lot of actual comrades in Russia, or actually taught a lot of things, like taught that you are living in the best country in the world because communism lets everyone do this. Communism teaches you the we and not the capitalist I. That's fair enough. Okay, that's where I actually get, but the rest of the logic is actually pretty bad compared to capitalism. In capitalist countries, all the people are living in poverty. Okay, so dude, you live in a country which has a higher poverty rate than literally every other country in the world, and most of them are capitalist countries. Okay, and the second thing that Stalin basically said is, okay, in the capitalist country, you have no snacks and no good food. You cannot eat the good bread and the good carrots and the good food. In fact, almost everyone, only a very few people in the capitalist countries, and by a very few people, I mean like 30 in every capitalist country in the world, not each, but in total, have probably eaten a carrot or an apple. The rest of them has probably eaten something weird, like I don't know, moldy bread. We live in a better country than they do. Thank you, Mr. Stalin, for giving us a really good country. Also, if you steal from... Also, you're not allowed to share property. Okay, that's really unfair. Also, everything is very expensive. Wow, everything's expensive? Nothing is free. What? Okay, but that part's pretty untrue. Okay, so almost nothing in America is free. Sure, healthcare is sort of free, and education is apparently not free. And however, other countries in the world that are capitalist, like Korea, have, for example, free healthcare. Korea has free healthcare, right? Yes. Korea has free education, right?
Yes.
Korea has a really good police. Okay, I actually kind of doubt that. Really good police force. Okay, Korea has a good government. That's probably nothing. I should not go get in politics. Okay. Let's get off politics stuff and go back to 1940s, 50s Russia. And basically, if a comrade is a bunch of friendship that is actually linked by one really secret bond, it's like the only thing that's keeping the earth and the sun together is a really soft piece of, and somehow a very long piece of. This guy's fur has no idea what just happened. And it's like 2 to like 2 pounds of dumbbells are connected by a very long strand of my cat's fur. That is very weak, but it's also a very weak loyalty too. It's also a really strong loyalty because apparently you're taught that this is actually a really strong rope. So you decide that I want to strengthen this rope. I want it to be the strongest rope in the entire world. And so of course most Russians who are who are brainwashed go ahead and are brainwashed into this and say, I want to help Russia. And then, of course, Stalin also imposed all this in the reign of terror. And that only the people who went ahead and went to Stalin and followed Stalin will be not executed or by certainty. Also, if you did follow Stalin, there's also a 90% chance that you will be executed. But hey, it's better than a 100% chance of getting executed. That's pretty much it, to be honest. So I've got a few things that I want to really talk about. Communism itself is really weird in its own sense, to be honest. Communism is a really interesting topic too. Also, it's probably something I could talk much about because I live in literally a communist country. Well, sort of. I'm not in Korea right now. If you actually thought I was living in Korea right now, you are not a really good viewer. But anyways, back to the video. Literally everything about communism is actually really important. Okay, China is not that very communist. In fact, it has a bunch of capitalist appeals. In fact, the only very most communist country in the world that's completely communist is North Korea. Like, also, it still has some capitalist beliefs too. In fact, they started putting in cell phones too. Also, there's only a few miles, and there's a really very strict. In fact, it's very strict. It's even stricter than the Chinese Great Firewall. However, it is progress, so I guess it's better to have a cell phone than no cell phone, and internet and no internet. Although you're only allowed for like government-approved websites. Wow. And you're not even allowed to have entertainment. You're not even allowed to play VGs or video games. You're not even allowed to play board games. You're not even allowed to play chess. What the heck, man? Why are you not allowed to play chess and Jenga? Why the heck are you not allowed to play Jenga? It is so good. And and the girls are only allowed to have long hair and okay, why am I going to North Korea? But what I'm trying to talk about, my point about communism is that it's not all bad. The concept is good. In fact, if there's like a country of true communism, I would actually probably support it. Like Karl Marx himself created communism just so that people can share things. To be honest, the basic concept of communism is just sharing things. Although most people actually think of communism as killing other people and saying that you're doing this for the country. To be honest, most communist countries are just things that don't really happen well enough. Here's the thing about communism. It's that there's one thing I learned about communism. It's that literally everything about communism is awesome. That's pretty much a lie. Why? Why did I say that? Because the idea is awesome. Like sharing ideas and no one can control everything, it sounds good. But when you actually try to put it in practice, it's a terrible thing. It's not really good to use communism as the main framework. Oh, sure, it could be a main framework, but the only framework, that's a terrible idea. You have to mix communism with others, like you have to mix the communist soup with, I don't know, like capitalist kimchi to put it in, and socialist spam, and you put it all, and you make a really good government. However, if you only put the communist soup in, just bland soup, no kimchi, no spam, no salt, no pepper, you literally have a really bland government, and also a very controlled government too. Which is not what something wants. People want flavors, and if you only use capitalism, then it's pretty much it. Like, United States itself isn't completely capitalism. In fact, it also derives other social structures too, economic structures into its government too. In fact, no government in the world is completely capitalist, completely socialist, or completely communist, or whatever other economic system there is out there. It's always a mix of it. Also, there is like 90% capitalism in the United States of America. 10% is basically just everything else, even a little bit of communism, like 0.001%, but that's still something, right? You need flavors, you need seasoning to make a really good government. However, if you only use communism like what Stalin did, then you'll probably make a reign of terror. Please don't make a reign of terror. And China is still pretty good place too. Sure, it's not as it's not as free as the United States of America. Then again, it has some advantages. Like you can't say whatever you want, and it's really bad if you can say whatever you want. You could say literally every bad word into like a 5-year-old kid, and well, that's not something you want to do. But hey, if it works, it works. So far, no one has broken. There are like 2 wars going on right now, but other than that, the world's at peace, sort of. And to be honest, before 2020, the whole world was at peace, sort of. In fact, like 2019 was probably the most peaceful year in the entire world, other than like the start of civilization. But then again, people are still humans. They want to have things that other humans don't have. And humans are still greedy people too, and that's pretty much everything I can literally say. So if there's one thing I can say that I learned from this, it's that the book Breaking STALIN'S Nose is literally something that tells you about communism and how Russians in the Soviet Union lived. In fact, still today, not the full extent of Stalin's crimes are still exposed. So I actually think this book is a really good idea. It's a good children's book, and it's really good that it calls out the Soviet Union's and Stalin's crimes. So if there's one thing that I have learned from this is that people can be very, very naive. Also, if you want a good economic system, you need to make a flavored soup. You need to put a soup with some sort of economic kimchi and economic spam and economic eggs. That's it. Sounds really tasty if it wasn't fictional. So hopefully you guys actually enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys soon. I look like a college student if I wasn't 12 years old. Bye bye. Wear a helmet. Wear a helmet. Bye.